The Olympic Regatta covers 14 events, which will happen in 6 different types of boats. One of the main attractions are the races in the single scull. Each rower has 2 oars, which is called sculling. But in rowing, some athletes row with just 1 oar each. This is called sweeping. The smallest of the sweep boats is the pair. Each athlete has just 1 oar and propels only one side of the boat. They have to pull the oar through the water at the same time to make the boat go straight. That brings us to the double sculls and the lightweight double sculls, where both rowers have an oar in each hand, as in any sculling event. Sculling is more symmetrical than sweep rowing. In the quadruple scull, each of the 4 rowers is equipped with 2 oars. A total of 8 oars means this is one of the fastest boats in the world of rowing. The heavy or the lightweight 4 has 4 athletes, each with 1 oar. This is another sweep boat. The famous 8 is the biggest boat and, in an Olympic regatta, the only coxed event. The coxswain is the only athlete facing forward in a rowing race. Each of the 8 rowers has only 1 oar. South Africa is an up-and-coming nation in rowing. Head coach Roger Barrow is in charge of all the athletes in all the boat classes. He gives us an overview.
Yeah, the sculling boats, each person has 2 oars, and then the sweep boats, each person has 1 oar, which I think is a bit more difficult doing the sweep oar because of the balance. On the sculling boats, their boats are a bit more stable. Yeah, I think when the boat has more oars, it will definitely be faster. So if you look at a quad, which has 4 people and 2 oars each, will be faster than 4 people with 1 oar each. And the same would be for a double scull compared to a pair, where there are 4 oars in the double scull with 2 people, and only 2 people with 2 oars in the pair, which the pair will be a little bit slower. So always the boats with more oars, in theory, should be faster.
But whom to put in which seat? Is this a crucial decision to improve the performance?
So when you look at a pair, you've got the stroke man, and that's the person furthest away from the bow. The bow is the part that goes over the finish line first, and the stroke man is the person who sets the rhythm and sets the tempo, as we call it, and the pace of the rhythm when they're executing the race. And often the person who sits in the bow, he has to follow, and he's often the person calling the tactics and the strategy of the race. I think often if you look at a Cox's 4, the person you put in the stroke seat is the man with the rhythm. How they can set the best tempo. Normally the 3 seats and the 2 seat are where you put the more powerful people because the boat is more stable and they can work a lot harder. And then the person who sits in the back in the bow seat is often the most dynamic and the best technical rower in the boat. And this also applies to a double or a quad, even in a pair, where you've got your technician, your rhythm makers in the front, and then the followers behind.
Quite comfortable with racing in the pair is the Dutch crew, Steeneman and Braas.
Well, I think in a pair, if you make a mistake, it costs you 5 strokes, and in an 8, if you make one false move in a stroke, you can get away with it and pick up in the rhythm a lot easier.
And in a pair, I think it's a little bit easier to, like, if I say something, then Mitchell's the only one who can respond on it. And if I say something where there are 7 or 8 people, there are 8 people who can respond on that. So like the setting is challenging, I think.
So every boat has its peculiarities, either sweep or sculling, either in a single or in one of the bigger boats. In the end, it's rowing and competing amongst the world's elite. But they all have one thing in common: human power.